Hello, this is Remvon, custom DAW that I've been making, and this is a fourth 2D grid scripting language that I just created, inspired by Yorka, and I would like your thoughts and comments. Here's how it looks like. Okay, let's start from scratch, see what this is about. So we have this, well, okay, the stack operator just outputs to its right, it's one space, I will tell you soon why, the stack contents. So the program evaluation is top to bottom. It starts from the cell and it keeps going horizontally until it finds a null cell, which is shown with this point. And if it finds this, it goes to the next new line and keeps going on. Now, yeah, this is it. We can add things. You can see it on the stack. You can multiply, I think, 0 and 4, or you can add them. Sorry, you can add them. And these things are not evaluated, and the teal color means that the cell is overwritten by someone else. So you can see that this is not in the stack, this is just leftover. We can have 3, 4. We can have function calls. Let's do this, or maybe to demonstrate something. Okay, let's clear the stack. Yes. So now let's make a function call at 07 x7 y0 and to call and so the stack. So when we're making a function call, we jump here, and now the program execution goes like this, then next cell, this is now new line. Now the program execution keeps going from here until it reaches the exit, and then it goes to alt and then to exit, and then it returns 4. Okay, so that's basically it. Now let's try to recreate the patch that we had before. So this happens with the MIDI node. Now the MIDI node reads 5 values from the stack: the MIDI channel, the octave, the note. Now 00 means the note C or Do, but relative to the octave that we just defined. Then it's the velocity. Now the thing is, MIDI only supports velocities up to 127, but here we support up to 255, but basically we divide it to be in the range of 0 to 127 to be MIDI compatible, but anyway, this is an internal detail. And then it's the length of the MIDI node, which is 00 means the tick length itself, that the whole thing gets evaluated. This thing now is hard-coded at the 16th step of the BPM, but I would like this to be configurable actually, and it will make this. Now to make it a bit more interesting, let's randomize MIDI MIDI node. This is the MIDI node here again. But this time, let's make it between 0 to 12. Make it run. Okay, now how do we make a tracker here? Good question. So let's make it like so. This will be the channel, this will be the octave, the node, the velocity and the length, and let's make this thing be a function call, because then we can customize every single step with arbitrary functionality. And the other way, but I think this is, I don't like it so much, is to kind of like read the section and push it into the stack. I have an operator for this, I think it's called like push horizontal, but I don't like it so much actually. I think this is way more powerful to the function calls. So now our stack is empty because we're doing nothing, but let's make a function call to 8 y0 and then call. Okay, but we want to modify the y that it's keep growing. This is a tick functionality, but it keeps rolling off. And so let's do modulo. Okay, let's add some variation. I don't take pride in my musicianship, so bear with me. Okay, now let's make the velocity random. How will we do this? Let's make space here. Let's make it starting point 1, 2, F, F. Now, that's it. So the other thing that I had in the initial project is I want to bring in functionality, take it out interactively. How do we do that? So let's say that the way that we're scanning this tracker is just sequentially always, right? But, and this is the thing that creates the Y position. Let's say I want to be able, while the program is running, to move it out, not get it evaluated, bring it in, move it out, bring it in. Now, a neat way, I think, is to hardcode the thing here, and every once in a while have this thing when it's get evaluated to overwrite this value. Now let's move this thing actually to position 8 to make some space, and I didn't operate the store, but I have the inline operators which It's basically a store operation. I mean, I do need to add the full-blown one, which will read 2 arguments from the stack. But anyway, this is an inline operator, which is a store, and it writes at x0, y8. And you can see that it's overwritten with this color here. So we can have one thing that scans sequentially, another thing that scans in random. And another thing, which is a nice trick, is like to add randomness every now and then only. So the way to do it is to create a random value, say 2, 0, and 4, random, and then we say if this thing is equal, then to this, and let's align this thing just for visual purposes, that this whole block. That's more or less it. Now, this inline operator of st and actually, so you can see that. No, so here also the load operator. Let's read the 2, 0. Then the results. Yeah. Right. This is load and store. Now, since this is occupy only one cell, I think it's overcoming the lack of variables. So the idea is that if you want to not overpopulate your cells, just to add some functionality to reference some other value, you get free access basically to the this whole region, because you can address this whole thing. Come on, you get in the way. You can address this whole thing and say this whole thing, because if we had one more row, this needs 2 hexadecimal characters, and you cannot do it because these inline operators have 1 character for the x, 1 for the y. And I think it works okay to overcome the lack of variables, because the variables are also hidden. I think it's nice to have everything contained in the grid. It's clearer. You can see when variable changes value or whatnot. And the inline operators I have right now, and I think they're absolutely needed, is the store, load, and the call, actually. And what did I do? Yeah, so call. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, to demonstrate the call, actually, we can do this. Let's say, instead of doing this every time here, we extract this thing into a function. And we do call at 3, 0. And let's change the whole string. No, actually, no, it's not do it like this. I think I can do it like this. Now in the other paths I had another functionality which I was accepting arguments in this give me a random velocity. And okay, to add arguments here, let's do all with argument 0. And now we're using two sets here, right? So now it's a bit philosophical, like if we were going to do the same thing to a function call with an argument, we will need the argument, the x and the y, and then we'll do a call. By the way, the x and the y push to the stack the actual position of the cell. We will need 4 cells, now we only have 2, so I think this saves some space. And what we can do, because here it gets overpopulated, we can do a function call from here. And we can add our logic here, actually. So, and we can do a pop to ignore for now the argument. And we can do a function call, that's and then exit again. Okay. Now to make it a bit more interesting, we can do so if we pass the argument 1 here now, wait. So what we're saying here, that should be the other way around, exit, then end tentative. So what's happening here? If we're passing 0, we'll output a random value. You see the random is here. Let's make it a bit. Oh, this is into a piano. And let's make it that the 0 is quiet zone. Right? Let's make it that 0, 1 argument is a bit more loud. 0, 2 is still more loud. Otherwise, we just add whatever. Right? 1, 2, 0. That's 0. 1, 2. And yeah. What else? Now the off thing here is that, let's make it a bit bigger. Not this direction. This direction. Right. So if we were to test the value, and then check the stack. If we want to check this thing, here we can say if it's 0, and to do this we will do equal if an output 10, right? Then and but if this is 1, this 0 has been consumed. Now the way to do it is 2 ways. Either you need to duplicate the thing first, and then if it's true, we need to drop it. If it's 1, we just output 1, etc. Or instead of shooting the thing here, we'll do an over. Oh man, I didn't make this build. But anyway, the over kind of like duplicates the previous thing of the stack, the second thing item in the stack. But anyway, this whole operation actually is off with the pop. So if it's this, and if we output 1, let's say we output 11, and if we have input 2, we have 12, we have some decimal. Otherwise, it's the thing as it is. Right, that's it. And let's go back to where we were. Okay, let's go back to the initial patch. And some brief overview of the software. So this is the arranger window. Now I can hit M to mute something. Nothing gets evaluated here, right? Or I can do a new MIDI file and then add some notes. Anything exciting. And this MIDI file basically gets routed to the instrument here, and I can change this value with Control and arrow keys, Control left or Control right. This instrument here, is a sound font. It supports polyphony out of the box. This instrument here is the oscillators and the filters and everything is a node, kind of like modular synth. And polyphony is very much experimental. It's not ready yet, I would say. The whole thing. Or you can open this file kind of with Control Enter to open the instance of it. And you can manipulate things here. by octave with Control Alt. And you can escape to everything. So this opens an inline editor, and then Alt and P opens the phrases panel. Alt M, Alt C, S, T, F, and then there is a browser. But I'm saying all this just if you want to try the scripting language. This is the way to do it. And you can also play with Orca here, actually. As a reminder, this was the... Oh. Which uses Orca for both the drums and the synth. If I need this item here, this is just the synth, and this is the drums. And this works because this thing here, this cursor here is how it renders a bug. Anyway, I have created slices. Control G and arrows modify the grid. You see the grid here? It's like half a bit. So this means like an eighth node. So you've created the slices. And this gets played by this patch. It triggers. You get the sampler region, you get the start and end position, modulate the drummer, and we trigger the drummer. Yeah, so I can share some project files and so hopefully you can start playing yourself with this and get thoughts and feedback. Alright, so have a nice one and see you soon. Oh, last thing actually, the whole thing, we can render it. And realistically enough, I can actually what was that? Here. The software also acts like a sampler player because it opens quite fast. Okay, that's all, and this was just to share thoughts and status with this scripting language because something got me excited, and soon enough I will share more info about the software and how it works, but I have quite some things that I need to fix first. Alright, have a nice one.